Hello everyone, Treecks here and welcome to the next side project within F-Zero-X, you might say. Last time we finished off the third difficulty in this game, both in the regular game and in the expansion kit, killing a lot of computer players in the process. But today we're going to start with the next phase of this project, where we're not going to be dealing with computer players for a while, because we are going to tackle time attack mode, trying to get the best possible times for me in all of the tracks in this game. Whenever playing time attack mode, you have two options: time attack itself and records. The records option you can actually check out in order to... Yeah, first of all, here unique music that only plays here. But of course also in order to check out all of your times. Every single time I've driven so far is me not really trying all that hard, in all honesty, because I didn't want on accident already get a really good time, something I'm going to try to do now, so I didn't want to go too fast. But of course I did make sure the times on all of the tracks were good enough in order to unlock the staff ghosts. And if you're curious about your best times, you can actually view them here in records. But now it is actually time to talk about what I'm planning to do in order to cover time attack mode. As you can see, staff ghost is available on every single track. I actually made sure of that. And what I'm going to try to do is go for the fastest time possible, and hopefully in the meantime also win against the staff ghost. Of course you can also drive without one. For that you just pick the option without ghost. Or you can drive against one of your own ghosts, which you do need to save, of course. Ghosts don't appear on their own, but you can also drive against your own ghost. But I am actually here in order to take on the staff ghost, the programmed Nintendo ghost that Nintendo actually drove themselves in order to challenge players and try to actually perfect certain tracks. And warning, these are really, really difficult to beat. These are even better than master computers, so beating them is going to be really difficult, but I will still try to do so. And in order to get the best chances, I'm actually going to pick the best machines in this game in order to get fast times. And one of them is actually the twin Norita, driven by Gomar and Shio. The lightest machine in the game, as you can see by the weight, but it is also by far the best jumper in the game, and therefore the best machine suited for going for max speed settings. And that is going to be my first attempt in order to beat the first staff ghost here on figure 8. This should be fine enough. Let's go see if I'm able to beat the first one already, which I highly doubt, because in all honesty I'm not that great with Twin Norita, so I did want to save the Twin Norita for time attack mode. And I'm already losing. But yeah, this is basically how it works. As you can see, there's a pre-programmed racing time in the game, driven by Nintendo itself. All of them are actually really challenging. And especially the tracks where jumper strats need to be used, like here on Mute City. I think it's really difficult to beat them. Oh! Screwed that turn up. Yeah, the difference is only becoming greater, it looks like. Yeah, I think I'm going to lose this first one. But no matter. It does give me a chance to actually talk about... Need to turn up again. But it also gives me a chance to actually talk about what I'm planning to do here. I will try to actually go for a first attempt every single time in order to make this extra challenging and extra exciting, you might say. This first attempt is actually a failure. However, I do talk about a first true attempt. So whenever I actually make a really major mistake or actually retire during trying to go fast, and then of course am allowed to try again. But what I will try to go for is my first real attempt, you might say, where I actually feel like, yeah, here I actually went smoothly, did not make any major mistakes. And that I will actually input as my first attempt. So whenever I fail, I will try again. Or when I retire, of course, then I will try again. But the moment I cross the finish line, that attempt counts. That's what I'm going for here. The first one was a failure. Pretty badly even, so... Let's try again. Attempt number 3.
3, 2, 1.
Missing way too many dash plates. Okay, that's a lot better. He's still slightly faster than me. I'm not the biggest pro at the Twin Rita. That is not obvious. However, with a different machine you don't stand a chance, so you have to use the high speed of the Twin Rita. Only machine in the game that can actually go fast enough in order to beat this guy. Ooh. Yeah, do remember to hold down with that part, because you go so fast, you actually get dragged off the track there. I did miss another dash plate. Oh, even started slipping. Yeah, I'm once again going to lose. Attempt number 4.
3, 2, 1.
I don't really mind losing to this guy. I'm not surprised this is the kind of track where I actually can't beat this guy, but I do like to actually put down a perfect race, so that is something I am also not able to actually do here, it looks like. Losing, I don't mind. But I do want to leave this track with a good feeling. With a feeling that I did have the best possible time here. It's also not really working so far. Down, and fall. 25 milliseconds. Ooh, it's even decreasing now. Okay, the decreasing has stopped again. Okay, never mind, I'll just leave it with this. I don't think I'm able to do a whole lot faster. 1 minute, 5 seconds, that's the best I can do. After 4 attempts. Still losing to the Staff Ghosts. So the standings now 0 for me, 2 for the Staff Ghosts. Not looking very good for me so far. 2 tracks done. And already the Staff Ghost is actually taking quite a lead. But hopefully we can change that, because Sand Ocean, this track, because of having a little bit more turning, I definitely don't feel like using the Twin Rita. Here I'm actually going to use a different jumper machine, namely the Hyperspeeder, driven by Beastman. Also a machine I actually talked about briefly in the previous episode. But I think, when it comes to my personal feelings, the Hyperspeeder is actually the best jumper machine. Of course, the Twin Rita is faster officially, but I think the Hyperspeeder actually has a lot better control, and therefore for the tracks that have a little bit more turning, like Sand Ocean over here, I think the Hyperspeeder is actually a way better option. The Staff Ghost is actually the King Meteor, I see. That surprises me. I was expecting the Twin Rita again, even on this track. Apparently Nintendo thought the King Meteor was the best machine for this track. Which is actually a machine I can't drive myself. I did try at some point, doing decent time attacks with the King Meteor, but yeah, that's not my kind of machine. I think it has the same problem as the Twin Rita. Also, control-wise, not good enough. I keep on slipping away with a machine like that whenever I try to go with high speeds. The Hyperspeeder is more my kind of thing. But obviously also not good enough. Because I lose again. And this time pretty badly. Last time I at least was pretty close to the Staff Ghost, but this time more than a second behind it. I'm starting to doubt whether this was a good idea, in all honesty. I was thinking I might be able to actually beat a couple of these Staff Ghosts, but I'm already starting to doubt it. I hate using the Twin Rita.
3, 2,
Come on. With this track, I at least have the feeling I am able to beat this guy. I can get really close. I just need a perfect run. I have a little bit more max speed than he does, it looks like. On the straightaways I am a little bit faster, so I feel my balance here is actually better. And I'm ahead of him, so let's keep it that way. Finally actually beating a Staff Ghost. Especially this straightaway in the Corkscrew. That is actually where I need to make my strike. Luckily I still hit the dash blade. 20 milliseconds. It's not a whole lot. And it's gone already. Come on. Oh. Ooh, kept the turn. Let's go. Yeah! Finally! See, I knew I could do it. Took a while to actually get the perfect run. At the moment I did, the first Staff Ghost became my prey. 1 against 3. So, the comeback is real. That was Corkscrew. The first success in beating the Staff Ghost. Okay, let's move on. Oh yeah, and as you can see, the moment you beat the Staff Ghost, you actually get an X mark. Try to get all of them if you are really a perfectionist. But I think beating all of them is a little bit too much to ask. In some of the tracks I'm simply not good enough. And also this contest is way too interesting for that, so I'll just keep doing it like this. Hyperspeeder, you're up again for Big Blue. Attempt number 2. I'm really starting to like this King Meteor versus Hyperspeeder. Happened on Pipe as well. And now here on Cylinder, we see it again. But unlike in Pipe, I do have the feeling I can beat you here. I can get really close. Just need that perfect run. Half a second. It's already quite a lot. But I saw in my first attempt that I can actually still gain up on him. My second and third lap is better than the Staff Ghost, so... Okay, that was good double tapping. Now let's boost on this straightaway. Closing the gap a bit. And now let's do this lap perfectly, unlike last attempt. Yeah, there we go. I missed that one. Oh. Come on. Just keep on boosting. Yeah, there we go. That is 2. This one does require all of your energy, but it is possible. 1:22.663. Not a perfect run, but I don't care. It was good enough to beat the Staff Ghost. So for me, it was good enough. There we go. Now let's go check out which balance setting I need for the next one. We are ready. Second cross, and therefore the comeback is real. This one could equalize the standings. And Port Town is a very cornery track, and therefore it is the first time we're going to play as the Bloodhawk, Blood Falcon, alongside with Silver Nielsen in the Night Thunder, the best slider machine in the game. And I can already see the Staff Ghost is not going for slider strats on this track. I'm surprised, so it might be interesting to see how that turns out. Slider machine versus jumper machine. First time we're actually seeing that. Me and the Staff Ghost actually going for different strats. And hopefully my choice for going for slider strats here is not going to come back to bite me. I do still feel that's the best option here. Well, I do win the first lap at least. Half a second. Bam! Bam! That's always my favorite thing to do in sliding. Boosting while sliding. The difference seems to be similar to after the first lap. It was shortened a little bit. No, dang it! Ah. Not sure how much booster the staff ghost has remaining, but probably more than me. Yeah, I'm going to lose this one. Unless, yeah! That final turn boosting was still a good idea. Gave me some extra speed. Enough to still pass the staff ghost. Awesome. 3 against 3 after the first cup. This might still turn out to be interesting. My idea of making a competition. Oh, and I even only barely beat my original time. Interesting. This one is going to be hell no matter what. Even with my strategy of choice, which I actually picked beforehand, I think this one is going to be hell. It is going to be Twin Rita again. And I did win one on Corkscrew, so I'm not going to write down the Twin Rita quite yet. But on this track I definitely don't think that is going to work out. The staff ghost is actually a little wyvern, I see. Interesting machine to see. But I think inverted loop is, time attack or not, even in Grand Prix race, I think inverted loop is one of my worst tracks in this game. I've never been able to actually get a perfect run on inverted loop. For some reason this track does not work for me. It mostly comes into play at the second turn in this track. Coming up right over here. This is the first turn, and this one, turns 2 and 3, I always screw this part up. This is where I always lose. I'm pretty sure that this is the only track where I've actually never been able to beat the staff ghost. Not even in earlier runs, earlier in my life on this game. On the original N64, on the Wii U Virtual Console. So many times I've actually gone through this game fully. Sometimes actually beating a couple of staff ghosts, even on the tracks I did not win earlier today. But I think this one I've actually never been able to beat. So don't mind me if I'm not going to try. Losing with 2 seconds of difference is a pretty big loss. But I think that is going to happen no matter what on this track. Let's forget about inverted loop quite quickly. The staff ghost is back in the lead, 4 against 3. Let's quickly move on to track number 2. I think this one is quite interesting. There's a lot of ways you can actually approach this one. But I think I'm going to try to go for the slider one. Bloodhawk. Let's go. This should be interesting. Normally I would go for a jumper strat here. But I think in order to make this one extra interesting, I think I'm going to go against my instincts here. And I'm not the only one, it looks like. I see another slider in the form of a staff ghost. So Nintendo apparently also thought sliding was better than jumper in a jumper track. And I can of course also make it interesting by not sliding at all. Just making use of the slider stats, but not the strats. I'm going to double tap my turns. I'm still keeping up with you, so... In fact, I'm also passing you. I think your turns are better, but my jumps are better. For some reason I always had the feeling that my jumping is actually really good in this game. I always really have to time down really well for jumping. So even when playing with a slider machine, I'm actually able to do that quite nicely. Yeah, it should be good enough. It's really close behind me, but not close enough. Alright. Track number 8. And the standings is 4 against 4. 1 minute, 7 seconds. I think I can do faster, but for some reason I thought this was a pretty nice way to try it. And it was successful. Now let's move on to the next hell. Red Canyon was fun. I think this is the kind of track where I can win in multiple ways. But I think Up and Down is the kind of track where I'm not able to win at all, no matter what I try. In practicing I thought this was the best setting. 5 bars towards max speed. But I don't think I'm able to actually win this one. But I might get surprised. I also did not expect to win the first Devil's Forest, so... Perhaps the second one could also surprise me. Would put me in the lead for the first time. So far, the Staff Ghost has been in the lead this entire time. Excluding the times where things got equal again. 3 against 3 and 4 against 4. Okay, I lost this first lap pretty badly. But I also lost the first lap pretty badly in Big Blue on Cylinder. There I also still ended up winning. So far not closing the gap, so... Why is the difference only becoming greater? I did not realize that Super Piranha was also such a good jumper machine. I'm catching up a little bit, it looks like. Yeah, but I think it's too late. Oh, come on! Ooh, no! I did get close in that final lap. So I think if I keep trying this one, I should be able to actually beat him at some point. But no. In the way I've actually planned to do this, I only get one chance to do actual successful attempts. And this one was not good enough. This one might turn out interesting. I'm gonna go for Slider here. I did try it out practicing with a jumper as well. And just like with multi-jump, I think this is the kind of track where both of them should be able to work. In fact, I see the Staff Ghost is actually going for jumper here. Unlike in multi-jump. Here on technique, Nintendo did decide to go for jumper, but I'm gonna go for Slider here. So far we're going almost at the same speed, it looks like. Half a second of a difference. In my advantage. Turn. 1 second ahead. Okay, doing fine. Oh, he's coming. Apparently he was saving some booster at that part. Ooh, good one. Especially the parts where I start boosting in the turns, there I can definitely get a good head start. Oh! Come on! And that was me screwing up the final part of this track and still having enough margin to win. Normally that would have been good for a reset, but since I still beat the Staff Ghost, I don't think that is necessary. Let's keep it with this. We're equal again. And the next one coming up is also going to be really challenging. Quick Turn. Here I think Slider is a no-brainer. There's not enough straightaways to actually profit from jumper, so Slider it is. Okay, Red Gazelle. That is also a known jumper machine. I'm actually surprised Nintendo went for jumper here. Red Gazelle is not per se my best jumper. I think it's way too unstable for that. It's pretty low grip, so whenever going fast, it's actually pretty hard to keep control. Okay, so far so good. Getting better. Yeah, there he goes. Boost on the second turn. Boost on the straightaway. Pretty much the only straightaway here, so. I'm apparently not allowed to actually get ahead in the standings here. Lose again, making it 6 against 5. Am I ever going to be able to lead in the standings? Me versus the Staff Ghost. It looks like at the end of this episode I'm only able to equalize the Staff Ghost, at least if I'm able to beat Dangerous Steps. And I think with the Hyper Speeder that should work. Let's go try. Attempt number 1. And the Staff Ghost is actually going for the Twin Rita. Interesting. I think this track is a little bit too cornery, especially in this first part for the Twin Rita, so I feel more confident with the Hyper Speeder. The part I'm going to have to benefit the most off is definitely going to be the jump section. I have a heavier machine, so I should be able to jump better than the Twin Rita. Even though the Twin Rita has the better top speed, I have the better jump speed. Yeah, there we go. More than a second of a difference already. That's really fine. Now let's keep that lead. Next jumping section. Okay, that went fine. Oh man, so fine in fact I'm more than 2 seconds ahead of the Staff Ghost now. This I'm definitely going to win. Man, this was the final one for today. It's the easiest one so far. Really destroying the Staff Ghost here. Perhaps it's promising for the next couple of tracks coming up in the next 2 episodes. But after the Jack and Queen Cup, the first part of the time attack, me versus the Staff Ghost, the standings are equal. We both win 6 tracks. And this final one being the most promising so far for me. Because more than 3 seconds of a difference. Do I stand a chance on the more technical tracks? It looks like it. Next episode is going to be the King and Joker Cup. Also going to combine that in 1 episode, of course. I'll just make 3 episodes out of this. And so far, the standings are equal. This is promising to turn out very exciting. Thank you for watching. And see you folks in the next one. Treecks out.